Hi, my name's Patrick Adam. I'm 42. I was born in Ghana. I moved to the UK when I was 7. Most of my formative years have been in the UK. So my main inspiration was my daughter. So she's 7 years now. And when she was born, she just gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of drive. It forced me to kind of look at myself, think about, my ambitions and my own aspirations and what I wanted to achieve. And as she started to grow and she could talk, she could comprehend things more, I feel that I have to embody the things that I want her to do, and I have to, show her by example and lead by example how I want her to be. And so through that, knowing that, I've decided to kind of fulfill some of my own ambitions, some of my own goals, so that she can see that and then she can, be inspired to fulfill her own goals and ambitions. But also I saw that there was a niche for products that cater towards African Caribbean children. They just didn't feel that there was enough positive portrayals of African Caribbean people and their culture and heritage. So with that, instead of maybe just complaining or petitioning somebody else to create it for us, I thought, well, there's a niche here, there's an opportunity here. I've always had the ambition to make sure that, as Black people, as African Caribbean people, that we have, pride in ourselves and that we're portrayed in a good way. And I think, with the puzzles and what I'm doing, it basically, it speaks to my sensibilities and how I feel. And hopefully other people get that sense as well, and they can take some pride and enjoyment in the puzzles as well. I feel that I could have done any number of things, but they wouldn't have sat well with me, and so I think this aligns very well with who I am and what I want to achieve in life. So the puzzles were an idea that I had. I have a daughter, she's now 7 years old. When she was growing up, I just saw that there wasn't really much that was inclusive or showed her background and her heritage, her culture being reflected. So, there was a time when, Frozen was the big rage, and that kind of annoyed me a little bit because I couldn't find similar products for her, whether it was books, TV shows, movies and things. And so, I spoke to my dad. He lives in Ghana. He was able to send us some books and other items, which was great. But I just wanted to do something. I could see that quite a few people were making black dolls and bags and things, which were great. And so the journey started summer 2017, which is when I actually registered a company. It wasn't to necessarily do puzzles at that time. I was looking at some other business ideas. One of them being a subscription box service, another being a trading card game similar to Top Trumps. I spoke about these to friends, family, made a start, did some initial drafts and research about the Top Trumps idea and trying to explain it to him. And within 30 seconds, his eyes glazed over. I could see that he didn't get it. He wasn't interested. And this was a really smart, guy. And so, I then mentioned the jigsaw puzzle idea, and he immediately lit up and, gave me some suggestions and things. And so from that, I just did some research, looked at, images, looked at where I could get it manufactured, the costs and that sort of thing, and just really just got started, kept on going. I had an initial prototype made in the UK, just so that I could have a physical copy. I really liked it. I spoke about it to a couple of cousins and family, and they were like, we would support you and we would, help you finance it, because at the time I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. And, it was quite a bit of cost to get it manufactured in China. So just from them saying that, they would be interested, made me think, great, I can go it alone. I don't need anybody's money and then have to kind of, have that extra headache. And the cost wasn't a huge cost. I equate it to the cost of an iPhone 10, maybe just a little bit more than that. So pretty affordable to a lot of people, I think. But it wasn't a huge sacrifice. I had a bit of savings, and also, as I said before, the cost to start up was, around the cost of an iPhone 10. So just keeping an old phone that wasn't working very well, maybe, and just using credit cards here and there if I needed to, but otherwise just out of my own pocket. I think just being able to put my own idea into practice and get my own idea out onto the market. And with the way things are, if people don't like it, people don't want it, they won't buy it, and that's the biggest feedback you can get, right? Nobody likes it. You've just stuck with hundreds, maybe thousands of puzzles, but so far people have bought it, so that's really gratifying, and that's really humbling. So initially, when I had the puzzles made, I was speaking to some small independent retailers in the UK, just following them on Instagram, building up a bit of a bit of hype, I guess, a bit of publicity, as it were. And so it's just really using social media as being a main channel for me. And within social media, it's mostly Instagram, but physically going into shops that I think would like to stock my puzzles, speaking to them, letting them actually hold a physical product and getting their feedback. And so far, most of the shops that I've approached, they've been happy to stock my puzzles. And so far as well, the puzzles have sold well, they've done well. It's great living in London because there are quite a few black independent shops like Diverse, New Beacon Book, Hub and Culture. This is Book Love with Samantha Williams, who travels around to different events. So that's really helped. I think for me, it's to always be positive and be optimistic. I think there's always challenges and there's always headaches, and things don't always go to plan. Things don't always go as you would like. But just to take a step back, look at that, evaluate, and see how you can overcome some of the obstacles. Some of the things that I had, the initial designer that worked on my puzzles, he no longer wanted to work on the puzzles. There was no falling out as such. It was just that he could basically get paid more money doing the same work in other places, which I can't fault anybody to earn as much as they can. That's their right. So that was a headache, but I quickly found a new designer. She's really great. Same quality, same price, as it were, and she gives me quite a lot of feedback and input. So that's been really great. Another challenge that I had was that after the Ghana puzzle was designed and manufactured, the new government changed Ghana from 10 to 16 regions. So I basically had stock of puzzles that were no longer accurate. But again, for me, it was a case of, well, I can discount them to get rid of the stock. But also, they can be used as a collector's item because, this was what Ghana used to be. So I think in 50 to 100 years time, it will be an antique, and, people will be worth, considerably more than it's worth now. So that's what I say to people. So these things happen, but it's just to keep going. So ideally for me, I would like to manufacture the products myself. So at the moment, the products are manufactured in China, but for me, it would be great if I could go back to Ghana and actually manufacture the products in Ghana, provide employment, but also it allows me to learn and grow. It allows me to keep the means of production within my own hands, and it will allow me to prototype and get more products on the market, and to be able to do a lot more different things. And also I would like to make puzzles for other people, so whether that's small niche black owned businesses that might want to do a puzzle of Jay-Z or Drake or something, or do a puzzle of Desmond, so people like nostalgia, or a puzzle of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So just some of the things that are maybe fun to our culture that we don't see if we go into the shops, but then ultimately it would be great if maybe some of the big brands such as Disney, if they have a new film, maybe they'll commission me to make their puzzles. So that'll be really great. So that's what I'm looking towards, and also getting stocked in more and more of the big outlets, so like a John Lewis or a Tesco's, WH Smith, that kind of thing. So just becoming as mainstream as possible, really, while still keeping the ethos and the mission of the business. At the moment, there are puzzles, but shortly to come there will be posters that people can purchase as well, so posters of the puzzles. But what I'd also like to do is do posters where it's a stencil, so children can colour it in, and adults as well, because it's therapeutic. And then other products such as t-shirts, again, that children can colour in, maybe an app as well, and then any number of other ideas that I've kind of got on a back burner. They do take a while to get, go from idea to reality, so hope people can bear with me and just stick with the brand, because I think they're going to be new products that people are really going to be excited about.